Welcome back, folks. With me, Phil Terrell. You're watching part 8 of the Final Fantasy VIII Let's Play. And this will be the last part of Disc 1. And where we last left off. We left off getting the Brothers Guardian Force. And the Brothers Guardian Force is not super broken, but they got some pretty niche abilities. Namely two. HP bonus, where you can learn that or have them learn it once you have them learn HP 20%, 40%, 80%, and finally you'll have access to HP bonus. And HP bonus, what it does is very much like strength bonus, magic bonus, where when you level up, when you have the ability equipped, you'll actually get 50 HP to your character when they level up extra. So 50 HP extra when they level up. Sorry. So it's pretty good if you want to make your characters a little bit more spongier. I typically have that equipped to Squall, Zell, or Irving if I have them in my party. If I decide to put it to, say, some of my magic users like Rinoa or Selfie or Quistis, then that's just a bonus. But I typically try to keep that on my physical attackers. The other ability that the brothers have that's pretty awesome is the defend ability. And the defend ability is pretty useful if you want to go after the super boss of this game. If you want to do it in a quote-unquote legitimate way. To me, that's kind of subjective. But defend, the Final Fantasy Wiki defines it or describes it as defend nullifies all physical damage and status elements that would have otherwise been inflicted. Defends halves damage from magical attacks and presumably halves the chance of being inflicted with stasis from magic attacks unless the ability always casts something as long as the character is not wholly immune. So, pretty useful ability. The super boss of the game has a particular attack that can wipe out your whole party if you're not prepared for it. I believe the name of the attackable Omega weapon is Terror Break, I believe. Been a minute since I've taken on Omega weapon. This is not the way I normally take it. I normally cheese it with Holy Wars, but you know, as long as it works, I'm not going to complain. But anyways, enough of Omega weapon. So we're just making our way to Delling City, and I'm getting caught in some battles. And along the way, Diablo's learning Encounter None. And I'm going to change his learning ability to magic plus 20%, maybe? No. HP, hit junction. Yes, hit junction. Okay. And if you really want to train, there's a beach to the right of where I'm located. You can go there and fight some of the orange, red fishes, whatever they're called, and they can give you some pretty good, decent amount of AP. The other thing that I'm not doing is I'm not card modding either of my brother cards because Minotaur and Sacred, both of their cards, well, each one will refine into either, I think it's Sacred that modifies the 10 adamantines, which is useful for ultimate weapon refinement, and then the other one is for 100 dinosaur bones, which is very good for having Quake magic. And so what I'm doing here is I'm giving the guard the passcode that we found out in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So after that, we're going to go and talk to General Caraway now. Squall is going to have a little bit of dialogue here with Rinoa, if you have Rinoa in your party. And he's wondering why the guards are teaming up with Galbadia Garden to have this operation against the sorceress who's going to be working for Galbadia Garden. And Rinoa's asking Squall to not leave her alone in the house because he is still in her employ. And it's kind of interesting. Why does she not want to be left alone in this particular house? Well, we're about to find that out here. So, when we're in here, the good man of the house, General Caraway, has presumably left us here to wait for an unspecified amount of time. I like to think that we've been waiting here for, I don't know, at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour or so, where everyone's already getting kind of impatient. Rinoa, in particular, when you talk to her, said it's just like this man to let his guests wait, and it's kind of, well, she outright says that this is her house, and General Caraway is actually Rinoa's father. So She doesn't say that part, but the party puts it together once the man of the hour shows himself. Especially since she says this is her house. And after waiting a bit, General Caraway will show himself in all of his military glory. And General Caraway says she's not a part of this operation. She doesn't have the type of training that Squall and his team have. And Selphie puts it together that General Caraway is her father, and he says he doesn't remember the last time she called him that. And Zell makes a mention that, this is a bad thing, that she's the head of a resistance cell against the Galbadian country, and her father is the head of the military of said country. And yeah, so Squall decides to make it mention that he's still under Rinoa's contract, and for him not to get in the way, and he's like, and what if I do? And Squall's like, what's his problem? That's her father, dude. Anyways, Squall decides to let that go because Irving decides to interrupt, and he's like, hey, we're here to knock off the sources, not argue amongst each other. Let's get down to business, folks. So General Caraway decides to let that go for now, presumably. And then he's like, let me explain the plan. So we're going to go ahead and fill in Rinoa's spot with Selphie. It doesn't really matter. We're not going to fight anything. So General Caraway is going to talk about how the sorcerer's name is Edea. And Squall's like, Edea. Like, almost like that name rings a bell somehow. So along the way, Squall's going to have some internal thoughts and just hearing, well, not yet. I'm talking about I'm thinking about later, but right here in front of the presidential palace, Caraway's going to explain that there's going to be a float in this parade, and there's going to be two teams, a sniper team and a gateway team. And the sniper team is going to wait right here, and the gateway team is actually going to wait inside the arc that's right behind us. So this is the presidential palace. This is where we're going to wait for the float to come out of. Once the float comes out of the gate at 200 hours, we go inside. And if memory serves, 200 hours is 8 p.m. normal people time, not military time. And he explains that the sniper team is going to sneak in, go inside the clock tower, where there's a carousel clock with a sniper rifle there. It's just been sitting there. I mean, what if a janitor just walked in there and just started cleaning? So I was like, oh, hey, look, it's a sniper rifle. But anyways, I digress. And then right here, I find this very humorous. The general, the head of the military of Galbadia, is just running around the street like I don't even know what to call him. He's making a fool out of himself. I always thought this was humorous. And so we're gonna go in Fall's direction, and we're going to go towards the gateway. And at exactly 200 hours, the parade will pass underneath this gateway, and the gateway will shut the door on their trap, i.e. shut the gateway down on the float, and that is when we will have Irving do the dirty deed and pop the sorceress with the sniper rifle, and hopefully not have to do an ATB battle, because, ATB battles are, well, they're fun. We can't have fun in a Final Fantasy game. So that surely will not happen. Now, after all this is said and done, he makes mention, hey, you're free to go, just don't start trouble. And Skull's like, who you think we are? We're not your daughter. And General Caraway is like, okay, whatever. And he's like, I'll be waiting at my residence. Go there whenever you're ready. So you can go and shop around at the shopping district if you want for items or upgrade your weapons. Honestly, I probably should have went back to the junk store and see if I could upgrade some of my weapons. But I don't have the Dragon Fangs for Squall's weapon, and honestly, I think I could actually upgrade Selphie's weapon to the Strange Vision. I have the Star Fragments, the ability to get adamantines. So I think I can make it the Strange Vision for Selphie, but the only good thing about Selphie's ultimate weapon is it has a perfect accuracy on it. But we're going to save, and then we're going to go into the mansion, and we're going to talk about who's going to be on what team. And so the sniper team is going to be the most important team, because they're the ones that are responsible for offing the sorceress. And in the event that it fails for some reason, the leader of the sniper team So we carry out a direct assault on the sorceress. So, you know, we're gonna bonsai charge the sorceress if everything fails, and it's not gonna be fun. So Squall decides to take on the leadership role of the sniper team, and him and Irving are gonna be on the sniper team. The other three are gonna make up the gateway team. And Zell's like super pumped. He's like, "It's my time to shine, baby. I'm gonna be the leader. Squall, my boy Squall is gonna nominate me. Do some shadow boxing here in place." And Squall's like, "Sorry, bro. Quistis, you're in charge." You know, considering that she failed the garden and leadership qualities, I don't know why Squall decided to do that, but you know, it is what it is. Plot dictates Quistis is going to be leader. That's what's going to happen. So, as we try to leave here as Quistis, Rinoa is going to come and barge right in, and she's going to have something that she wants to add to the plan. And she has a particular item she wants to use in the operation. It's an Odin bangle, and an Odin bangle is made by a person of importance in the story of Final Fantasy VIII named Odin, appropriately. And Zell even knows who it is. Odin is a pretty well-known name in items and magical items and all that. They're number one when it comes to goods. And Quistis is kind of laughing to herself, and she's like, "How do you plan to get that thing on the sorceress?" And then she's like, "Who? What? Where? Or how?" And Renoa's like, "That's what we're here to discuss." And Quistis is like, "We don't have time for that. We gotta go and carry out this operation. We don't have time for a father-daughter quarrel, and it isn't a game." And she just storms off like that. And Zell's like, "Sorry, Rinoa, I gotta go. Bye." And Rinoa is a little bit shaken up by this, because I imagine she thought that they had a bond after traveling for a while. And I guess all the words from the timber operation where Squall's like, "Y'all don't ever have a plan unless we come up with a plan." So Squall's going to talk about how he'll make the first charge for a head-on attack if he fails. He'll try to buy time. And Irving's like, "Nah, that won't be necessary. I'll get the job done." And the dialogue between here, Squall and Irving is some of my favorite in the game. And Irving just kind of asks questions about Squall, how seeds aren't supposed to question our mission, and how Squall would feel about taking on an enemy of pure evil. And Squall's like, "Pure evil? What are you talking about, man?" And the next line right here that I kind of just went right through, unfortunately, is "Right and wrong are not what separate us from our enemies. It's our different standpoints, our different perspectives, and all that stuff." I really like that line in the context of Final Fantasy VIII because of a lot of events that happen in the game. And just two sides having different values, and you know, both sides would end up blaming each other at the beginning and at the end. So really, it's just a matter of perspectives from what Squall says. So I really like this dialogue. It kind of like gives a little bit of a insight into the way Squall thinks about the world and good and evil and all that. So the gateway team is going to be here, and they should, emphasis on the word should, wait here, but it doesn't. Well, you'll see. So Squall and Irving just have them follow General Caraway to the front of the presidential palace. You have to walk through the crowds. You're no longer allowed to walk through the roads because there are guards posted up all over the place. And General Caraway is going to mention here that we have to wait. And then Squall makes a mention of why is there an extravagant parade here. And it's to have the sorceress establish her place in Galbadia Garden. And Squall finally connects the dots here that that's why Galbadia Garden wants her gone. They don't want her anywhere near their campus. So now Quistis is going to show why she failed her leadership qualities as an instructor at Balon Garden, because she's like, maybe I was too hard on Rinoa. And Quistis, in her infinite former instructor wisdom, decides to leave because they got some time before the mission begins, or before 200 hours. So not only did you abandon your post, how are you supposed to get to your post when it gets worse and as far as crowds and probably soldiers being posted up? So that's I don't know. I love Quistis as a character in terms of battle, but her decisions in the game kind of leave me bewildered. But anyways, so we get back into the house, and Caraway's explaining to Rinoa there'll be chaos out there soon. She'll be safer in here, and she's not having that. And he's like, okay, whatever. And this is legitimately, to my knowledge, the only interaction in the story with these two characters. I wish we could have gotten some more, but he tries to lock her in, and she's like, I can do this. I think I can do this. And then she runs out, and Quistis somehow misses. Quistis and her squad end up missing her on the way out and them on the way in, and unfortunately, they're unaware of the trap, and we're locked in. Oh, this is why she failed that leadership quality exam. Anyways, so they're locked in, and Rinoa got out. So what is to happen here? Well, we're going to get a little bit of a side mission of sorts with Rinoa. And Quistis is worried about Rinoa, and Quistis is probably on her way to sources as they speak, because she wanted to help them, and Quistis said, you're not ready for this, girl. So back to the presidential palace, that the gate was locked, and questions arise in my mind now, like, how did Rinoa get here? But again, JRPGs, we ignore the logic. So go down, and you don't have to go down this way. Actually, you can climb those boxes, but we're gonna go this way because I want to get a magazine here in the sewer of all places, and it's just a weapon magazine, so you don't have to go down here. And actually, Squall and Irvine will come down this way eventually, so you don't have to get the magazine here. It's a main issue, and it just has some recipes for certain characters. So you got Squall's weapon, Rinoa's weapon, Irving's weapon, and then Quistis' weapon. And again, Squall and Irving are going to pass through this general area, and you can have them go down, because there will be enemy encounters here. There'll be an enemy called creeps, and there'll be an enemy with bats, and you don't have to go this way with Rinoa if Rinoa's under-leveled, under-prepared, didn't get any magic with her. So you can come here with Irving and Squall. And as you're climbing these boxes, Rinoa's going to say she may not be a seed, and very slow, very annoying this part, but she wants to do her part. She wants to show that she can actually do stuff. She doesn't have to depend on Squall and his team to carry out stuff she needs. Because again, all this is probably weighing heavily on her mind, that stuff that Squall said to her in Timber, the stuff that Quistis just said, that it's not a game, you have plans, and she's like, I got a plan, watch me carry it out. So follow the route around that I'm going. There's a ladder up here that you'll climb. You'll climb on the roof, and then you'll meet Sorceress Edea, and we'll get our next cutscene, and also FMV. So Rinoa will make her way to the Sorceress, who's sitting down, and she will present the bangle as a gift. And well, as you can tell from the ominous music, this probably is not going to be a awesome scene. So Rinoa is going to walk up to Sorceress Edea. She's going to introduce herself as the daughter of General Caraway, and she wants to pay her respects, and she brought her a small gift. And well, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, and she was suspicious. So Edea has saw through Rinoa's little ploy. She probably knows who made that bangle, and well, she's going to take it out on Rinoa. And then not only did Rinoa fail, she also gave the name of her father, and how he's the head of the Galbadian military, and well, she's not going to have that. So right here we're going to get an awesome FMV cutscene introducing Edea, who's quite the looker, and how she magically can shorten her hair and remove a visor, owing to her status as a sorceress. And it's this part of this cutscene is actually in the introduction to FMV in Final Fantasy VIII, and I will say this about this scene: it's kind of implied that Rinoa's kind of put under her spell, because For some reason, she's going to be at the podium with Edea and President Dellen here in a minute. So she's kind of like in a daze where she's just following Edea. So she's been enthralled by Edea. So we're going to get to the cutscene, and you see the president's out there by the amazing podium, how she's going to address the people of their amazing country, Galbadia. And Squall and Irvine are going to see this whole event unfold. And as you see there, Rinoa's following her, and she's like, "Oh, hell, Edea!" But what would be super funny is Edea's like, whatever. Anyways, they're taking a note from Squall. So they know it's Rinoa, and even though they want to help her, they're kind of not able to. At least Irvine is. Squall's like caught off by surprise. So Edea is going to call the people low life scum and all that, and why are they celebrating her ascension when they condemned her and anyone that was like her for centuries and all that. And President Dellen's like, yo, this isn't how it's supposed to go. And she's just basically making a mockery of the people she's supposed to be representing. And Dellen decides to overstep a little bit, and she decides to off the president. And also what's kind of interesting is that the people are all cheering and all that, so she's kind of put them under her spell as well. At least that's how I rationalize this. So she throws the president's body, it smokes a little bit. Maybe it was bad tacos. And she tells the people, rest assured, you fools, that your time will come. She's threatening them, and they're still loving it. So, I mean, that's why I honestly believe that she's enchanted them or enthralled them or whatever you want to say with her mouth. And with this great opening of a celebration, Edea is going to decide that this occasion requires a sacrifice. Kind of jumping the gun. She has to get inside the building first. So she's going to get inside the hallway. We have to go to get the sniper rifle. She's going to be like, let us end this ceremony with a sacrifice. So she's going to turn some creatures that are on the gateway into living monsters. And I believe these monsters are called Igulons. It's a pun or a combination of iguana and lion. So Iglions. I want to say lizard cats. These lizard cats are going to run through the crowd, and people are just like, okay. Ignore the crowd, jump like 500,000 feet into the air on top of Rinoa. And bear in mind, all this is happening while they're talking, while all the cutscenes that we're going through. So maybe Rinoa has a lot of defense and HP. Maybe I forgot to take off the Guardian Forces off Rinoa. But we go back to Quistis, and Quistis is like, oh no, it's starting. Why did I just decide to be an idiot? So you can talk to Zell and Selfie to get some dialogue, but the trick to getting out of here is actually on a picture. You take one of these glasses, and then you're gonna put it into the statue of that's over here on the left side. The picture is the clue telling you to do this. You can talk to them and just keep on doing what you're doing, but the picture is the key to getting out. So go towards the picture. It's a statue. It's a picture of a lady holding a glass. There are glasses, and there's a statue of a lady. So it's almost like Resident Evil. I'm just trying to get them to talk and trying to get them to explain that there's possibly a way out, but they didn't do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut to the chase. Place the glass in the statue of the lady, and it will open up a secret passage, and then we can get out. So you're going to go through the sewers, which is where we're going. It's a pathway into the sewers, so you can go ahead and save if you want. We're just going to be in control of the team just for a little bit, but if you want to go, obviously I did not take off Rinoa's Guardian Forces, but now that we took them off, she's in more danger. No, really, there's no danger to her. It's just cutscene. So don't think that Rinoa's going to get off the screen. So we're okay. She will survive this, maybe with a few scratches. But so in the sewers, you can jump on these water wheels to go through the maze of the sewer. But we need to actually get to the opposite end of the sewers there to the right. So we need to work our way there. But when we go through this hallway, we're gonna get a cutscene, and we're gonna actually switch to Squall and Irvine. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give them all the Guardian Forces because we're gonna be in control of them for a boss battle. And you want to make sure that they have, at least one of them has draw, and they have some stats defense against break magic if possible. And so we're going to get the FMV cutscene here with the parade coming out of the presidential palace. This is another one of my favorite FMVs. I don't know, I just really like the whole music, how the people are going crazy about someone who just insulted them. And we get a big reveal here about someone who we thought was no longer with us, but they are actually going to be in this parade, all to see. So, this parade, as you can see, a lot of people are cheering, and again, this person just insulted them and all that. So, again, it's not outright set, but I do believe that she enthralled them. All that stuff, or enchanted them with her magic, because I mean, ain't no one gonna clap for someone who just called them low lives and insulted them, hopefully. So now we're gonna keep running to the right, and it's gonna continue the FMV. Right here, I believe, is where we get that reveal about the person. And I don't know why the dancers are dressed that way, but it's still funny. So keep going right, and we get the reveal that Cypher is still alive, kicking. And he's at Edea's side, and he's having a good old time. So why has he teamed up with the sorceress, other than her saving his life? That's probably part of it. It's probably actually a good part of it. But go ahead and sneak through the FMV right here. Sneak through, and Squall. Cypher's like, hey, I know you, but hey, I'm enjoying myself. So sneak. Don't be suspicious. Go through the front gate. And then we still got, according to that clock, like 25 more minutes. Nothing's timed, but it's just kind of nice to see that the clock is ticking. So climb up the same way that Rinoa went up. Save right there, of course. Why they couldn't just put the save point up top, because it would suck to get a game over. You have to climb these slow boxes of climbing. As you see there, the manhole is still open down there. To the sewers, so you can climb down there if you want. Get down there and collect that magazine if you did not do it with Rinoa, but we're gonna get here. As I said earlier, make sure you have draw at least on one of your characters. If you have treatment with Siren, you could have that as well, but if you have both of them with draw, then you'll be good. You'll have all the tools you need to take on the boss. You can have one of them with magic, items you want, but absolutely make sure you have draw for the boss fight that's about to happen. Because the bosses will have a Guardian Force, pretty useful for that one, a pretty useful one at that, especially for the boss fight at the end of this disc, if you want to beat the boss. And so, well, beat the boss easily. So, President Dylan, Squall's like, whatever. And I should have made Squall go to the podium, but I did not. So, there's a door to the sniper rifle, but I'm just going to double check all my equipment. And I'm thinking it's good. You don't have to have mug if you don't want. The items that you get from the igloo, the lizard cats. I forgot what I called them originally. I can't pronounce their real names, but the lizard cats. They have the ability to break, petrify you, and yeah, it's no fun. So if both Squall and Irvine get petrified, the game is over. So. First things first with this boss fight, make sure you draw the last item on their list, because it is the Guardian Force Carbuncle. And Carbuncle, we'll talk about Carbuncle when we mess with him, but go ahead and draw out Carbuncle, hey, trophy. And now we can go with the fight proper. Their spell list includes Break, Cure, and Asunia, I believe. Their most damaging attack is going to be Resonance. They have to both be there for Resonance to happen. So if you take out one of the lizard cats, you'll have have a much more easier time. So they have Cure Magic, Asunia. So if you get damaged quite a bit, you can heal. If you get status afflicted with Break, you can cast Asunia, and the Break spell is going to be on a timer, so it's a delayed petrification. So you can cast Asunia. If you have treatment from Siren equipped, then you can use that to get rid of the status as well. They have Cure Magic, so if you get weak, you can go ahead and use that. You can steal some G returners from them, but really you'll get G returners when you beat them, which are Phoenix Downs for Guardian Forces, which I've never used. I don't really use Guardian Forces in battle all that much. They're not super difficult enemies, so you can go ahead and draw Break Magic from them if you want, but if you've been playing cards, you should already have quite a bit of break spells from getting Cockatrice cards. But that said, this is an excellent spot to get some break spells if you take out one of the kitty lizard cats. But Magma Breath is probably their second most dangerous attack because it will put you on a delayed petrification. So make sure that you get rid of that petrification as soon as you see those numbers above your character's heads, either with the Asunia or treatment, like I said. But otherwise, not a super duper hard fight. Just do whatever you need to do here and take them out. You can, again, use physical attacks, which are going to be in my opinion, probably the fastest way. Guardian Forces, you can go ahead and do that. Off the top of my head, I don't know if they're weak or immune to a certain element, so I should probably look that up, but future fill, if I have made an error on that part, please add that to the captions. So right there again, just getting rid of the statuses and curing, and I'm just stalling because I guess I'm trying to get Asunia on Irving. So probably won't be too much more longer. I think we have about maybe 20 more seconds before we get to the jump cut where I start actually taking out all these lizard cats. So that's one down. So with that lizard cat down, they can no longer use resonance. They're just going to have to rely on Magma Breath and just their physical attack. So up to you if you want to steal from or draw any magic, but otherwise, pretty easy fight. Just make sure you get Carbuncle. Carbuncle by far is the one thing you want in this fight, because Carbuncles will be instrumental in beating the last boss on this part. So, that we beat the kitty lizards or lizard cats. We get 20 AP, so we should, in theory, get some abilities. In Quasicult, learn Elemental Defense ×2. We get to name Carbuncle, and Squall rescues Rinoa from getting ambushed from the lizard cats. Here, Rinoa is finally come to terms with how her decisions can have a negative impact. Because she was scared, found that she couldn't fight alone. Squall makes a realization that she's not ready. And Rinoa just does not want to leave Squall. Squall mentions he hasn't forgotten her orders, and he's just stay close to me. And so with that, Rinoa feels a little bit better. Irving joins up, and now we can get the sniper rifle. And it's kind of, you notice there's Squall try to brush her off, but he relented. Maybe he's warming up to Rinoa. I'm gonna go ahead and unequip everything off Irving and Squall, and just double check to have my Guardian Forces learn something that useful. In the case of Quasicult, I changed his, I think his ability to magic plus 20%. But Carbuncle, you want to start learning his vitality skills, because Carbuncle has access to vitality bonus, which just like the other bonus skills, this adds 1 to your vitality stat when you level up, which is physical defense. So really useful to have that up before your physical attackers, or really anyone in general. But I normally have it on Squall and Zell and Irving, of course. So Squall will find a sniper rifle, give to Irving. Everything will get awkwardly quiet, and Irving will go into the back and just relax, I assume. Relax. So he will sit down, like it says, and he looks like he's very deep in thought. Maybe he's pumping himself up. And Squall and Rinoa are going to have a conversation. And Squall will decide to break the news to Rinoa that Cypher is still alive. However, he's with the sorceress. So, with that said, he's like, Rinoa. She's like, what? He's like, Cypher's still alive. He was in the parade with the sorcerers. And both of them don't know why. And Squall has to come to the realization that if he were to face Edea directly, would he have to go through Cypher? And he might have to kill Cypher. And as him being a seed, you can't really choose your enemies. You're a mercenary. So Squall says, I might end up killing Cypher. And Rinoa's like, well, y'all knew what y'all were getting yourselves into. Y'all were both prepared, right? And she says, you've had a lot of emotional training. But of course, she'd rather it not happen to them. And Squall's deep in thought. He's like, So maybe he is ready, maybe he's not. But really, if Irving were to hit his target, that probably would not happen. So Irving is gonna still doing his thing, and he looks like he's laughing. And Squall's like, is he freaking out? Dude, what the heck's wrong with you? And then Squall's like, don't tell me you're getting the jitters. And Irving decides to say he can't do it. So behind all that bravado, all that confidence, it was just a facade. Squall's like, oh god, whatever. So we're back with Quistis and her team, and we're gonna have to get through these sewers, which this is probably, honestly, this is the dungeony aspect of the final disc right here. And the sewers, if you've been following my channel, you know I hate sewers. This is really no exception. But the thing about Delling Silly sewers is there's really only one way you can go. If you do get off the path, it really ends really quickly, and it normally ends in a draw point, or I think it just ends in a draw point. So, or you open up like a shortcut to go back, which I don't understand why you would want to go back, but I would recommend having Mug on your Stealer, because there's an enemy down here called a Creeps, and Creeps have a very nifty item that you can steal to get some awesome Thundera magic. And Thundera magic is the second tier Thunder spell, so pretty nifty magic to have into your elemental defense. So we're getting into quite a few battles here, but as I was saying, the sewers in Delling City, they're pretty straightforward. I did remember hating them when I was first going through here, and I gave Carbuncle, may have cut it out, but I gave him a turtle shell, that way he can learn Vitality 20%. We can start learning Vitality 40%. I'll go, these are Creeps and these are the Bats. And Bats, super easy, but the Creeps are Thunder Elemental. They're susceptible to Sleep Magic. As you can see here, when Selphie tries to steal from him, have Sleep equipped to her status attack, and she puts him to sleep really easily. So they are susceptible to sleep. They have Thunder and Life Magic at low level. They have Thundera at mid level. They have Thundaga and Death, as well as Life at high level. They also have Life at mid level. They carry Coral Fragments, which is their stealable item, and it's useful for giving Quistis her blue magic Electrocute, but also the Coral Fragments can be refined into 20 Thundera spells. So, that's what I normally do, is I try to steal from him, but I also try to draw life magic from him, because I love life magic. It's a pretty good spell to punch. Now, back to Carbuncle for a second while this battle's unfolding. Carbuncle's abilities that are good are his innate ability times 3, so you can equip 3 abilities on the character who has Injunction. His Vitality Plus abilities and Vitality Bonus, and he also has stats, attack, and defense. So there's also that. So, so Carbuncle's a pretty useful Guardian Force. His summon is not gonna. I think his summon is the first summon so far we've gotten that doesn't do damage to enemies. It's more of a support type. He actually casts Reflect on your party, which is, it's a pretty niche summon. Reflect lets you, it makes your party immune in a sense to single targeting spells. A whole party targeting spell, like say Meteor or Ultima, will not get reflected back to the enemy. So if a character has reflect, someone casts fire on them, it will reflect from the from the target back to the caster. And this is a double-edged sword because you can't use cure magic when you're under reflect, because your cure magic will reflect back to the enemy. So if you cast like Cura on, say, Squall, with Squall having reflect, the Cura spell will go to the enemy. So that's kind of a bummer. But there is one battle where Carbuncle will shine, and that's with the final boss fight here in Disc 1, which is going to be Edea. So I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. So Edea is the final boss in Disc 1, and Carbuncle is going to be the linchpin in beating Edea. He's the main reason why Edea is a joke boss fight if you know how to fight her. So as you see here, that ladder fell down. If I follow it around, there's our draw point, and this draw point I think is just Insignia, I think. So nothing too special, and you can't jump on that water wheel because it's going in an opposite direction. So you see there, I can't go that way, so I got to backtrack a little bit, go back the way I came, and then go up the route and just continue around. And what we're doing is we're basically making a giant circle around the sewers to go back to that area where we first entered, and to get on the opposite end. And you can examine all the grates and everything, see if they open. But again, this is a very simple dungeon. There's not a whole lot going on. So it looks like you get lost, but there's only one path you can take. So pay attention to the water wheels, pay attention to the gates, and then you should be able to get through here really quickly. And if you find any creeps, consider drawing thunder magic and life magic from them. Especially if they're at the mid-levels, thunder magic, while it's good. Well, sorry, don't draw the thunder magic because you can just steal the coral fragments and draw the, sorry, not draw, refine the thunder magic. Up to you. Steal the life magic from them, and then, well, draw the life magic from them, and then steal the coral fragments. Jeez, funny. Otherwise, this is a pretty good opportunity to get some pretty mid-tier magic, or I guess aka equipment. So right here, we're going to look at our abilities. I'm going to take advantage of my Thunder Magic Refine, and go ahead and give that coral fragments and change those coral fragments into Thunder Magic. Jeez, getting really tongue-tied here. Anyways, so also do not equip the Thunder Magic to your elemental attack, because you don't want to hit those creeps with your physical attacks with Thunder Magic equipped, because it's just going to heal them. So we go to this draw point, just zombie. Not a big fan of zombie in Final Fantasy. I can't think of one instance where I would use it. So take the water wheel up, and then you're going to walk all the way across. If you try to go down, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. So have the water wheel, go on this water wheel, go down, follow the path down. I believe we're going to go down, but we're going to get into another enemy encounter here with, I think, creeps. We get one creeps here, so it's not something super horrible, but you can take this opportunity to steal life, draw life magic, and steal coral fragments. Not going to spend too much time here, so maybe I am. I'm just going to spend 10 seconds just showing me drawing life magic. But we stole the coral fragment, so we're going to go ahead and jump cut here in about 10 seconds. We're going to jump cut right about now. So we're going to go finish off this creeps. After I draw one more stack of life magic. So we're almost done with the sewers. I think we got like maybe about 5 more minutes in sewers. So we can't go this way, we're going to go down. So go down this way. And then we get into an enemy encounter here, but I think I cut it out. Or no, that was me going to the menu. But nothing really happened there, nothing worthwhile. So keep going down. Got to a fight right there, but jump cut it out. And I think one of my Guardian Forces really looks like it's Shiva. And we're going to have Shiva learn Elemental Defense. At this point, I think we already have 3 Guardian Forces that have that ability, but you know, why not? Maybe she'll learn ×2. So we're gonna go ahead and refine some more Thundera magic. So we're gonna give that to Irving, maybe? No? Irving? Yes? What are you doing, Passville? Or it looks like we're gonna give it to Zell. So Zell's not a too bad of a person to give that to. We'll actually get into a boss fight in the first third, actually almost the first third of the second disc. There'll be enemies that are weak against Thunder Magic. So this is actually pretty good. We're getting Thunder Magic in mass right now. So continue on, and we're at the beginning. So you just go right, and you'll be done. But just to show you that this is the entrance, I'm gonna go up, and I'm actually gonna save. I'm actually gonna go all the way up here and save, or I'm just gonna go right back down. So go across the bridge we just made, go to the right, and just continue to the right. You'll get to a water wheel. Take this water wheel up, and we'll actually come out right underneath the gateway. So as you see there, the sewers are not a super bad dungeon, but it's still sewer level. I hate it. But you can go ahead and save right here, and then when you go up to the very top, the game will progress into the final sections where it's a point of no return. I mean, technically we are at a point of no return, so there's no shops or anything, but go up, and then we will be in the gateway with the window, and Zell's gonna tell Quistis that it's 2 o'clock. Hit the switch. So we're gonna get into another one of my favorite FMVs soon. Not this one, but soon. So the carousel clock is gonna go up, and now where's Delling's body at? Anyways. I don't know, maybe the janitorial crew is like, oh, hey, it's President Delling again. Let's go ahead and lift him up and take him away. The parade's still going on. Nothing bad's happened. As you see there, the parade is about to go underneath the gateway. And Zell's like, hey, hit the switch! And they still call her Instructor. Instructor, hit the switch! So the gate will come crashing down, and Dea's like, what the heck? So, with that said, the stage is set for Irvine to have his moment, and Squall's like, Irvine! And Irvine's like, I can't do it. I always choke like this. Try to act cool, joke around, but I can't handle the pressure. And Squall's like, forget it, just shoot. And then talks about how he's going to be in history, and he'll change the world with this bullet. He's like, it's all too much. He's like, enough, just shoot. He's like, I can't, damn it. And Squall decides to channel calm leadership energy, and he tells him, like, it doesn't matter if you miss, it's a signal, a sign for us to move, so just think about it that way. And Squall's like, that's it, just keep doing it. He's like, please, just take the shot. And as you can probably predict, he's actually going to take the shot. However, because of the entrance of JRPG plot gods, Edea blocks the bullet. So that messed up. So now we are actually going to have to go plan B and bonsai charge towards Edea with Squall. So make sure Squall, Rinoa, and Irving have good stats. So equip them with your best magic. If you need to pull magic from your other party members to give them pretty good spirit and attack and potentially magic, do that. There won't be very much drawing in this battle if you've been stocking up on magic. There might be one spell that Edea has that you might want to stock up on, but otherwise nothing too worthy of drawing. Mug, if you want to get an elixir from her, which I'm getting into that battle really early because we got to go through Cypher with Squall, but you want to make sure Squall has good HP and good attack and good defense, because your first battle will be against Cypher with only Squall. So you want to make sure that you have that. And don't be the person like me that you're going to put strength bonus and magic bonus and all that. These are boss battles. You won't get any HP, experience, so that's unnecessary. So you can go ahead and have draw item and all that, but make sure you have Carbuncle equipped on one of your characters, because Carbuncle, again, is going to be the key component in beating Edea pretty reasonably easy. You can still beat her without Carbuncle, but she does dish out quite a lot of damage with her magic. So make sure you have Carbuncle. I probably should have put it on Irving and not Squall, but I wanted the extra vitality on Squall. So this right here is actually one of my favorite FMVs right here. He's like, take care of Rinoa. I got business to take care of. Jumps, runs down. Let's see if the president's body's still there. Nope, didn't show it. But I imagine he pulled out his sword. He's like, whatever! Ah! So he's gonna get into the car, and we're gonna go and get to the sorceress. So in the middle of all this riding, no one's in the middle of the road. So that's pretty interesting. So Squall's gonna make his way up to the float, the back, and get to the front. Hold on, wait a minute. So if I have questions that I don't think can be answered, I just noticed this. I've never noticed this. So the back of the float is facing where they shot, and the back of the float has that giant tall thing on it. How did Irving know where to shoot her? No, I'm thinking about it too much. Anyways, so we get up to the. That's gonna bother me. I'm gonna try not to think about it too much. So, Squall and Cypher are gonna have a little bit of dialogue here, and instead of being called a lapdog, he prefers to be called her knight. And this is where he reveals that his dream has always been to be a sorceress's knight. So, quite the interesting dream there. But Cypher is a super easy boss fight. He doesn't use his gunblade very well. In other words, he doesn't use his critical attack feature of his gunblade like Squall is able to. He doesn't have good magic. He just has fire, cure, and catch the other spell. But not very good magic. Don't waste your time trying to draw anything from him. And as far as items that you can steal from him, I believe that he has an elixir. So super easy because I had high strength. I took him out in 2 hits. Now we're gonna get to the big bad Edea for the final fight of Disc 1. And Edea, she's a pretty difficult boss if you're not prepared. Now Squall's gonna be joined with Irving or Rinoa somehow. I guess they just ran all the way from the presidential palace all the way to where Squall is. So Irving says he wants to redeem himself, and Rinoa says she can fight by his side. Edea is going to curse them, and she's going to have access. She has access to 3rd tier spells, which hurt a lot. They hit for 200, but if you've been playing the game as I have, that amount of damage is pretty trivial. Especially if you decide to equip your magic to battle, you can just cast cure spells. But all this magic that she has is going to be pretty useless. Oh, hey, Angelo. Is going to be pretty useless once you summon Carbuncle. So as soon as the fight starts, summon Carbuncle. I probably should have said that first. And then the only spell that's worthy to draw, and I wouldn't worry about drawing a lot of it, even though I draw 100 of it, is this spell. It'll be useful for a boss fight or 2 in the future. So summon Carbuncle, and Carbuncle will cast Reflect on your whole party. And Edea, being the magic whiz that she is, she will not cast her spells on your party, which means she's going to waste turns trying to get rid of this magic that's on your party with Dispel. So you'll have time to draw magic from her, you'll have time to steal from her. She has a elixir on her, so nothing too valuable to steal from her. And you can go ahead and draw whatever magic you want. Double, again, is a pretty useful spell. Dispel is useful for a few boss fights in the future, but otherwise, not a huge thing. And then defeat in this battle does not mean a game over. Immediately, my very first time playing this, I did get beat by her, and I was surprised I didn't get a game over, but you get the same cutscene at the end regardless if you or not. So as you see there, she's wasting turns trying to get rid of the Reflect on the party. By the time she gets to the 3rd character, or maybe even before, depending on the compatibility with your character and Carbuncle, you'll just keep recasting Reflect. She'll waste more turns, and you just get your attacks in and magic castings in, and pretty easy boss fight, honestly, when you do it this way. You'll get some nifty AP from here. I think you'll get like 20 AP from Edea once you beat her. Her only attack is Astral Punch, which I don't remember if I mentioned that or not, but that's a physical attack that she has that can go through Reflect, but super weak attack. It's not a attack that she's going to use to beat you. So have Rinoa cast magic if you want, and have her attack. But Squall and Irvine are the ones that are going to be doing quite a bit of damage. But with that, oh no, we're not down. I thought we beat her because she was hunched over. So keep putting pressure on her, keep casting Carbuncle, and the fight will come to a close soon. And if you don't have Carbuncle, and you don't want to waste time trying to beat her if you're a pretty low level and you don't have high stats like I do, because you know card games tend to make this game pretty easy. It's not the end of the world because you don't get a game over. So, just keep taking pot shots at her. And eventually, and I guess I didn't get to Reflected time, and Carbuncle takes one more hit. But again, not a super difficult boss fight, but proper strategy, proper planning, I would say. This should be the last time I should have to cast Reflect, and I think I'm gonna have Squall attack and then Irving attack, and then that should be. I think I have Rinoa cast like one spell. I think this. Nope. I guess not. As you see, oh, in this track, I think it's Premonition. I think probably my second favorite track in the game. I love this track to death. Ironically, the track that's my favorite is not in this. Is not a boss fight theme, but Nobuo Uematsu outdid himself in Final Fantasy VIII. Even though this is my first Final Fantasy game, Water of all spells. You know, I mean. I love Premonition to death. So, anyways, I'm gushing over the music, but there's not a lot of stuff to talk about with the boss fight anymore. This is the strategy. Just take your pot shots out in Edea between Carbuncle summons, and she'll go down. So, with that, when she says Impudent Seeds, you've done enough damage to end the boss fight, and we'll get the FMV cutscene that will end this disc. She's had enough of it, and she's going to go ahead and actually use her limit break. This is actually her limit break that you'll see later on in battle. So she's going to make a whole bunch of ice and chunk it. It's going to miss Rinoa. However, she wasn't aiming for Rinoa, she was aiming for Squall, and that looks like it tickled just a little bit. I remember reading online a long time ago that what if the rest of Final Fantasy VIII was just a dream right before Squall died. So with that, this is actually going to be the end of part 8 of Final Fantasy VIII, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. You have a good one. Later, and bye. Oh, and Future Phil, don't you dare put the game over theme on here, please.